And now joining us via video link to talk about the unfolding situation in Mozambique is Cidia Chissungo, Amnesty International Mozambique campaigner, who's going to give us an update on what's currently happening in Mozambique. A very good afternoon to you, Cidia. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
We've seen what's happening in Mozambique. We've seen, the genesis of the violence in Mozambique, ostensibly. So what role do the historical tensions between the ruling party, Frelimo, and the opposition, Renamo, play in the post-election violence? Is this perhaps, is this violence a continuation of long-standing political conflicts, or is it driven by new dynamics?
Absolutely. I would say, as many other people are saying right now, it's historical. Every 5 years, every election, the problems keep coming. Again, the same allegations, it doesn't change. The only difference right now is that those people that are on the streets, some of them, they don't necessarily have any political interest, but they see how the country is going and some of the big issues. And let's say right now we have doctors and health professionals, for example, striking. There are teachers, for example, threatening all the time to go to strike as well. We even had judges recently also threatening to strike. So we're seeing like new dynamics here. And also there are the kidnappings that happen in Mozambique. For a few years now, there is no specific explanation. So we also see people related to business that they're also fearing, for example, to invest in Mozambique because it's not safe for them. We still see a lot of things, the way Mozambique each day is discovering new resources, but in terms of like the practicality, some people just don't see any benefit of this. We see what's happening in Cabo Delgado as well, the fact that it's been 7 years, but also people still don't have clarity on what exactly is happening in Cabo Delgado and all the resources. How is this going to reflect in the daily life of people? So there is quite a lot here, the levels of unemployment, there is quite a lot. But also on top of this new protest right now is how police have been repressing protests in Mozambique. One of the big aspects that is also very important to mention as we analyze what's happening today is what happened on 18th of March in 2023, when young people in Mozambique decided to pay tribute to rapper Azagaya that had died a few days ago, and police responded with violence. And I remember young people saying that they would retaliate soon or later because Frelimo cannot just decide from one day to another, say that people don't even have the right to pay tribute to their favorite rappers. So that's why today, if we look at the protest, we will always see a slogan of Povo no Poder, which is a famous slogan of Samora Machel and also Azagaya, the rapper that died. People keep calling for that. So it's not just about the transparency in the election, but it's very generic, and people really want change, young people specifically, in different dynamics of society, not only in the transparency of this election here, but also making sure that the institutions have a little bit of credibility, which is something that right now, to be honest, there are doubts. That's why we see people, some of the organizations and also top personalities at Frelimo, they keep saying that people have to wait for final results that will be announced by the Constitutional Council. But people at the same time say, if it's the same Constitutional Council that we know, then we will not, we probably won't agree with whatever they will say.
Apologies for interrupting you, but I'm quite mortified just listening to you when you talk of, some of the civilians being denied their right to pay tribute to their loved ones. And from a human rights perspective, what have been the most serious violations observed during and after the elections? Can you speak to any patterns, in terms of violence against specific groups or individuals?
Yes, absolutely. So since 21st of October, we have seen how police have responded with violence towards peaceful protesters. For example, on that day, when people decided to go out to the streets, what they wanted was to just pay tribute to lawyer Elvino Diaz and Paulo Guambi that were shot with more than 20 bullets on 18th of October. Not even that police allowed to happen. And also, when the candidates were being interviewed by national and international journalists, the police decided to shoot and fire tear gas as well. So we have seen that police doesn't really know how to deal with peaceful protesters, and everything that happened after the 21st of October, it's I would say let's say type of retaliation, because police started also shooting and using like live bullets. That's why to this date we have the numbers that we have of people died, including children. Just a few days ago, UNICEF was brought up the case of 3 young boys and girls that were killed, one in Zambezi and 2 in Maputo that were shot. One of them was killed. But we also have cases of people
another issue,
sitting
the
in
fact
their
that
houses.
children are getting dragged into this. So what does Amnesty International then recommend in terms of accountability for the individuals or even the groups responsible for this violence? Are there mechanisms in place for ensuring justice?
So the first thing that we're calling is the authorities to crack down on protesters, because as we have seen the pattern since 21st of October, the protests, when they started, they were not violent at all. They became violent as the police started responding with violence. But even to this day, all these numbers of people being killed, being wounded, caused by firearms, protesters, we haven't seen so far any protesters carrying any little weapon but police. So we do call on the government of Mozambique to end the crackdown on protesters. And the second thing that we have been calling is that those who have been arrested, because, for example, just until 6th of November, there were more than 2,700 people arrested. And then on 7th November, we counted more than 100 people arrested for no reason. So these, all these arrests are also fueling the resistance, let's say, and how people are behaving. That's why we are seeing all this retaliation that is happening. And the other thing that we keep calling also is the internet. Today it marks day 19 of restrictions of internet and social media in Mozambique. So we do believe that it's very important that authorities respect people's rights and to protest specifically. Regarding the elections, it's not on Amnesty to say whether they were fair or not, but it's very important that at this period of time, people's rights are respected and people don't have to be killed, don't have to be arrested for peacefully exercising their rights.
All right, Cidia, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your update with us. That was Cidia Chissungo, Amnesty International's Mozambique campaigner, sharing with us, the unfolding security situation and as well as the post-election violence in Mozambique.